Why would God tell us to love our enemies? I think we can see the relevance of loving our enemies when we look at the historical record of the Israelites descending from Abraham, and we check out some of these stories. The enemies of Israel could only hurt Israel if they were not in good standing with God. And so God would use these other nations, these heathen nations, who had no goodness in themselves. There was nothing holy or righteous or justified about them, but God was able to use them to bring correction and discipline to his people when they were doing some really disobedient and disrespectful things to their God. They were inciting his wrath, and they were doing abominations that angered him. And so what he could do was remove his arm of protection and allow Israel's enemies to attack and overwhelm and overcome and take captive the people of Israel. And so how silly would it have been? How silly would it have been for the Israelites to hate their enemies because their enemies had power over them, or because their enemies hurt them? It would be a displaced anger. That hate would be misplaced. There's nobody to hate but yourself. There's nobody to blame but yourself. There's nobody to be angry with but yourself. Everything is between the individual and their maker, every time. And so in the command to love your enemies, there is redemption. There is a story of redemption in the act of choosing to love those who hurt you, because there is a role of accountability. There is a function of personal responsibility, because you have to turn to God and face him and face yourself in order to love your enemies. You have to get the narrative right. You can't fabricate and twist things to your liking. You have to get the story right and know that everything that you have belongs to you, and you've earned it, rightfully earned what you have. And so you can't say that something was taken from you. It's really the truth is that you forfeited what was once yours. What you once had a right to, you forfeited it. You traded it for something. There was something that you wanted more than you wanted to be right before God, more than you wanted God. And so in loving our enemies, we achieve freedom. We come in line with what is true and with what is good, and we fall out of the delusion and the system of denial that keeps us in bondage. That's the narrative of the ultimate enemy, the only real enemy of our souls, the devil. That's the narrative that he feeds you, and you love it because it justifies you. But we are only justified by Christ and the work that he did. We are not justified ever. It is God who justifies us. It is God who exalts us. It is God who humbles us. It is God who takes vengeance. Vengeance is in his hands. We must leave things to God. And in the meantime, we do what we're told to do. We love our enemies. How silly would it be if we hated other people, knowing that there is nothing that we are not ourselves guilty of? No person is better than another person. We all fall short. Our righteousness is like filthy rags. If we had to compare ourselves to the people that we hate, they're probably stronger and smarter than we are. They probably have persisted through things of which we would have collapsed. And so, judge no one. Leave judgment in the hands of the judge, who happens to also be the same one who justifies us, who pardons us. Love your enemies. Love your neighbor as yourself. Love God with all your heart, mind, and soul. Love is the answer every time. It's simple. And if you choose malice, you fail in every way, every time. God's forgiveness is contingent on our ability to forgive others. Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. How silly would it be if we did not forgive, while ourselves receiving forgiveness for things far worse than anything that anyone could ever do to us?
poured out water. The skies resounded with thunder. Your arrows also flashed around. The voice of your thunder was in the whirlwind. The lightnings lit up the world. The earth trembled and shook. Your way was through the sea, your paths through the great waters. Your footsteps were not known. You led your people like a flock by the hand of Moses and Aaron. I cried to God with my voice and He heard me, and I lifted my voice to Him and He answered me. In the day of my suffering, and I prayed to Yahuwah, and His hand drew me in the night. And I was not silent, and there was no comforter for my soul. I remembered God, and I was disturbed, and I meditated, and my spirit was troubled. And dizziness seized me in my eyes, and I was dumb and did not speak. I have considered the former days in the years of the ages. I remembered, I meditated in the night. I meditated in my heart, and I examined my spirit, and I said, Yahuwah has forgotten me eternally, and is no longer pleased with me. The clouds poured out water. The skies resounded with thunder. Your arrows also flashed around. The voice of your thunder was in the whirlwind. The lightnings lit up the world. The earth trembled and shook. Your way was through the sea. You passed through the great waters. Your footsteps were not known. You led your people like a flock by the hand of Moses and Aaron.